So, mate, I just want to explain to you the situation that we came across the other day, so you can record it, and so that you can also not get stuck by it if you come across this next time. So, what's occurring here is there's a situation where there's a business owner who has a beloved operations system. And so he thinks that's great, but more importantly, it's the core of the business, right? So to remove this is open heart surgery. So the question is, what can you do to prolong the life of it, of this core operations system, because they're kind of at the limit of what it's capable of doing. But so they've got this core operations system. They have, I guess what we figured out was that you have client, or let's say you have, this is the team, right? You also have, let's actually call it clients. Yeah. And then you have, like the team, and then you have the admin team. So then also you've got sales and marketing tools. So you might have your Meta, you might have phone systems. I'm trying to generalize this a little bit. So you have your phone systems, and what else are you going to have? You're going to have your AdWords. There's all sorts of other things obviously you can put in there. Then you have your team, and then they have the mobile application. Critically, I guess there's a bit of a gap here because they don't have, this is also their CRM. So the CRM sort of fits in here. And also scheduling. So scheduling as sort of a business function goes in here. Scheduling, which is a critical problem at the moment. And then you kind of have finance, like the finance is largely, well, it's actually everywhere, but really it's like, how do you, payments between clients and staff, and then obviously you've got sort of payroll down here. Both of those are not problems, so probably if I was going to be really clever, I would have not put them in the red there. But then what is really missing is a few things, is good reporting. And that reporting is largely between this operation system and Xero. So where are we going to put Xero? We're going to say Xero sort of floating around here. But it's actually, it's everywhere really, isn't it? So so there's a massive reporting gap. There's controls that are missing. So for example, how accurately are we running the scheduling? How well are we doing that? So the scheduling. There's also SLA management. So how quickly are we getting back to clients? There's also probably a few issues. There was also probably a few issues with team management. So team management, which is kind of going here. There's a bit of a gap there too. And there's some quality issues as well. Quality. And I suspect there was one other reporting, control, and efficiency. So these guys have a bit of an AI push on. but there's not enough information being captured in the right places to be able to actually achieve that real uplift in AI. So, as a result of AI, because you need a solid knowledge base to be able to do that, obviously. So if I can just grab another piece of paper. What became pretty obvious is that, so there's two options here. Option one was to go the open heart surgery. The problem with this is that's going to take time anyway. So that could take sort of anywhere to 3 to 6 months to fully implement. And without some of these controls, that's still problematic. Controls, that's 3 to 6 months. So is that still there? And then there's also, I guess, alerts, right? So that's kind of proactive controls and alerts and thresholds. Of heavily impacted profitability. So what's really required is there's some additional control required, clearly. There's also this, so that's option one. Maybe I should say so. Still value in short term uplift in controls. Total application depth. What I mean by that is like how everyone buys these applications, but how far through the customer success roadmap do they get is always uncertain. So may mean controls still required. That's about it. There are a few other business issues in this case study that I'm at least thinking about. I'm trying to obscure it as much as possible, but yeah, that's so anyway, that's enough. That's enough on option one. And so option two is, let's call it the juice squeeze. Which is really how long and how far can we go without open heart surgery, really. And what does that mean? Does it mean, what does it need? So the path here that's required is almost the reverse of the sort of technology first approach, which we're kind of going to say is this one here. Because what you're going to do here is you're going to go, what are the critical variables the business needs to achieve, monitor, etc. How do you control those? And what other add-ons are required? Add-ons, bolt-ons to supplement shortfalls in the stretched system. These then become easy, right? And there's the benefit here. Benefits of option 2 are you actually get to test, explore all critical requirements prior to open heart surgery, which is a win, right? Because then you actually know the problems are when you get to them, or before you get to them. So you don't do open heart surgery unless it's absolutely required. You continue, and most importantly, never stop improving the sophistication with which the business runs. Which is amazing. So it's awesome, obviously. So then you can keep, if you've still got scheduling errors, maybe you plug in a scheduling thing. If you've still got like an actual scheduling app, if you want to move to better pricing models based on the urgency and the efficiency of response times, then you can, add in some sort of SLA management tool. If you just want better reporting, you can add in a reporting tool, all of those things. But you never, effectively, you just plug and play until literally you can't plug and play anymore. So this is a bit of a unique scenario, but obviously, I think option 2 is the path that we're going to go down because it puts this off, and obviously you don't want to do open heart surgery as much as possible. But the most important piece, I think, probably to consider, and the actual point of this video as a whole, was actually this sort of, maybe it was technology mapping method, because it seemed like you can go through a really complicated exercise and you can come up with all sorts of different technology landscapes, but the the reason we ended up with this approach of just going what actually goes where was because there's so many, there were so many different, look at my, oh, that's pretty good. There were so many different issues going on. And so it was kind of this case of, well, let's look at what the team uses, what admin use, what the clients see, put in, and so here, then you kind of get to this thing where you can map, okay, how do these guys interact? They have phone, email. They actually have some forms as well. You can then go like, what else happens here? These guys are similar methods, but largely this is through that operations system. And you've also got sort of scheduling controls in here too. That's the main area. And so out of that, I guess we were able to figure out, by just laying it all out, we were able to figure out what the gaps were in the system that were driving the business owner bonkers, really. Which were reporting, controls. Really, it was like alerts and thresholds. And even error mapping. So this error mapping, what I mean by the error mapping is actually a case of finding the problems in the business, putting them into a category and then addressing them appropriately. So I guess, Jimbo, what I'm trying to say to you, mate, is that if you get stuck in this position where people are frustrated by the technology, you don't have to have some really complicated framework. Just play a game of 52 pickup, if you know what I mean. So you just go, roughly this is what the business functions are. Where does everything go? And eventually the problems will appear. The problems will appear and become a lot clearer, and then you can just solve them. So don't stress so much next time and carry on.